Hello. Today I want to talk about Psalters, specifically Psalters for singing. So the Psalter is the book of Psalms from the Bible, and it was the songbook of the ancient Hebrew religion, and it has come into the Christian church. And the Psalms are sung in the different morning and evening and throughout the day offices within the different sort of liturgical families of the Christian church. So here I have several Psalters. All of them are of the Coverdale translation, which is the translation found in the Book of Common Prayer, and which the Catholic Church has approved for the use of the Anglican ordinariates. And they are all designed to be sung from in one way or another. So first of all, I would start with here the one that I never use. I never use this because it's designed for use with Anglican chant, which is 4-part harmony chant. So it's the American Psalter, but let's take a look. Here we have the Canticles for Morning Prayer. Well, if we skip ahead, here we are. Here's Psalm 18, and you see a 4-part harmony Anglican chant tone, and then the text is all pointed. So this whole book is like this. They give a tone and they point the text so that it can be sung to the tone. That's not very useful for me, but it's, if you are a choir director or you have an opportunity to use it, that's something that's out there. Now, the Plain Song Psalter. This is the work of Mr. Douglas in the early 20th century. Charles Winfred Douglas, copyright 1932, and it seems that this is still in copyright. There is a print-on-demand version out there which says an authorized reprint on the cover. It's $11 or $12, but it seems to be still in copyright. It's the 1928 American Book of Common Prayer Psalter, and it's set to Gregorian tones in modern notation. So, for example, if we look here at Psalm 1, it's in mode 1, ending B1, I don't know. And he points the text with a simple dot, which interrupts where the continuous reciting pitch is interrupted by a change. He interrupts the text with a dot. And I really like this form of pointing. I think it's clear, doesn't require a lot of thinking while you're trying to sing. So, blessed is the man that hath not walked in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stood in the way of sinners, and hath not sat in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law will he exercise himself day and night. I've kind of paused at the place where it changes there to demonstrate, but so this is a pretty good one in my opinion. I would recommend it. But it exists in another format, which is the St. Dunstan's Plain Song Psalter, which has been published by Lancelot Andrews Press, which is a Western Rite Orthodox publishing house. So Eastern Orthodoxy for Western Christians. I don't know how to describe it. It's Western liturgy in communion with the Orthodox Church. And so they have taken the Plain Song Psalter and simply put it into Gregorian notation, which I prefer. So again, here we have Psalm 1. Blessed is the man that hath not walked in the walked. Another thing they did was in the Anglican tradition, when singing the EDs of words are always distinctly pronounced. Blessed is the man that hath not walked in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stood in the way of sinners, and hath not sat in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and his law will he exercise himself day and night. So they've done, so this is readily available in print, and it comes in either hardcover or flex cover like this. And they've also put in the back, they've put all the canticles for morning and evening prayer and everything else needed except to sing the prayer book offices of Matins and Evensong, and they've also included an order of compliment. So that's a lovely book. I recommend that. Now we have the Manual of Plain Song, which is similar, but this is for the 1662 Book of Common Prayer of the United Kingdom's version of the Coverdale Psalter. And it is not in print, as far as I'm aware of. There might be a print-on-demand outfit that has this available. This is a new edition by Briggs and Frere. I don't know how to say that name. Along with John Steiner. And it is an updated version of the 1849 The Psalter Noted, published by Thomas Helmore. And both the original Helmore version and this version is available in PDF online for free. And what's interesting about this is that they've gone and they've set the entire Psalms. They're not pointed. It is all laid out word by word. It's noted entirely. So and they have at the beginning the other parts, the other things needed for prayer book, morning and evening prayer. So again, blessed is the man that hath not walked in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stood in the way of sinners, and hath not sat in the seat of the scornful. It is different from this. They aren't all the same. They're different tones, but the entire Psalms are laid out with the music in this version. There's also a 1950s version of the same book, or I don't know when it was first published, but mine is from the 50s, and it's pointed. This is a pointed version of the same book. Instead of laying everything out, it's pointed, but otherwise it's the same tones. So I would prefer, if you were going to try to find a print-on-demand version or look it up and get a PDF, I would go with this, because the pointing in this is using italics. So, for example, it's harder to keep track with the pointing. I prefer something like this dot that interrupts the line method of pointing to bolds and italics, because bolds and italics require more focus and it's easier to miss them. And I know from experience that your singers, one or two of them, are going to miss that italicized word. Blessed is the man that hath not walked in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stood in the way of sinners, and hath not sat in the seat of the scornful. So, you see, you have to really be paying attention, or you could miss the italicized word. And finally, we have a Manual of Plain Song for the American Church. Very similar title. It's a completely different book. I've not been able to find this scanned online or anything. Really haven't been able to find any information on this. It dates to 1890, and it claims to be an update of a book called The English Plainsong Psalter of Doran and Nottingham, and it claims to have been updated and improved by Reverend Wilberforce Doran. And it's a different book, and the pointing in this is rather difficult to follow. I don't care for it. It uses bolds, and it doesn't really explain how they're supposed to work. Blessed is the man that hath not walked in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stood in the way of sinners, and hath not sat in the seat of the scornful. And going through this, I find it confusing. Let's see, what is this too? My God, look upon me. Why hast thou forsaken me, and art so far from my health, and from the words of my complaint? It's just not clear anywhere how this pointing is supposed to work, and where I've used it, it doesn't seem the best. So my recommendation to anyone who wants to sing the Psalms is these two books, and this really is the same as this. They're both pretty straightforward to follow, and so that's my recommendation. I can't say that I really prefer one over the other. They're both pretty good. So that's all for now. If you know of something similar, I suspect there's something in the Lutheran world that's similar to this, just a book of Psalms laid out with music somehow. Please drop a comment down below, and I can look into that. So thank you, and goodbye for now.